Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We got a fun one prepared today. What we'll be doing is we'll be doing our quick picks for all of our Week 16 NFL matchups. We're going to completely break them down as quickly as possible, try to predict the outcome, who's going to win, who's going to lose, what the final score will be. We'll also touch on that bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. This is the quick picks. We're going to run through these games quickly. We have the Thursday night game in the books. We're going to be running through the other 15 games. Every week we go over every single NFL game, completely break them down. We'll have our best bets video coming out tomorrow, and we do the same thing for every college football game as well. Every week, every college football game, the top 25, the non-top 25, and we have our college football playoff starting tonight and running into Saturday. That's just the first round. It's going to be a fun playoff season. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're a football fan. If you're a sports fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get started. Like I mentioned, the Thursday night game is in the books. We actually have two Saturday games this week for Week 16. The very first one at 1 p.m. on December 21st, which is Saturday. On NBC, we have the 9-5 Houston Texans versus the 13-1, the defending champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Everything keeps rolling their way. The football gods love themselves some Chiefs. They just refuse to lose. Things keep bouncing their way. Props to them. Never apologize for a win. The Chiefs right now, 53.4% chance to win this game, but it's the Texans who are 3.5-point favorites. The Kansas City was 4.5-point favorites, but with the injury to Patrick Mahomes, that's completely strayed the line here. The over-under is going to be 41.5. Stroud's coming in, 17 touchdowns, 9 picks, averaging 23.4 points a game, throwing for 212.8, running for 111.4, giving up 21.4 points a game. Kansas City, does Patrick Mahomes play? That's the massive question mark here. If it's not going to be him, they're going to be rolling out Carson Wentz, who is still a very serviceable backup. They're averaging 23.5, throwing for 224, running for 112, but it's that defense only giving up 18.5 points a game, only giving up 91.9 on the ground. Kansas City is going to look to shut down the Texans' rush offense, force them in the third and long situations. They live on the turnovers. They generate a lot of turnovers, giving their offense positive field percentage. As of right now, I'm actually going to go with Patrick Mahomes somehow getting wheeled out onto the field. I have Kansas City pulling the upset here, winning this one 24-20. But a lot of this hinges on, does Patrick Mahomes play this game? And then our next Saturday night game on Fox at 4:30 p.m., the 10-4 Pittsburgh Steelers versus the 9-5 Baltimore Ravens. This is round two. This is a rematch. Round one was great. Baltimore wants revenge. They come in here 66.8% chance to win this game. 6.5-point favorites over in here is 45.5. The Steelers, this is a Mike Tomlin team. They run the ball. They play elite defense. J.J. Watt is back at practice. Pickens is still not suiting up right now. Pittsburgh, they're averaging 24 points a game, throwing for 199, running for 127, only giving up 18.9 points a game. They want to live on the defensive line. They're only giving up 94 rush yards per game. If they have the defense, they're going to travel with this team. Can they slow down Baltimore's rush offense, the number 2 rush offense in the NFL right now, a top 3 offense overall, averaging 29.9, throwing for 246, running for 178, giving up 23.7 points a game. The number 1 rush defense in the NFL, but one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. You can throw on Baltimore. You cannot run on them. They are loaded on offense. Lamar Jackson, to me, having his best statistical season of his career, 3,600 yards, 34 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 3 rushing touchdowns. Derrick Henry's closing in on 1,500 yards. Weapons up and down the field. I have Baltimore winning round 2, taking this one 25-17. And now we are moving on to our regular Sunday games, kicking things off Sunday, December 22nd on Fox at 1 p.m. The 2-12 New York Giants might be the worst team in the NFL versus the 7-7 Atlanta Falcons. The big news, Kirk Cousins has been benched. They're going to be going with Michael Penix Jr. at the quarterback position. He's a rookie. We haven't seen much from him, so we are completely going into this game a little blind. He only has 38 yards this season. Tommy DeVito will be back for New York. New York, the underdogs here, 9-point underdogs. Over-under is going to be 42.5. The Giants are averaging 14.9 points a game, the worst offense in the NFL, throwing for 185, running for 111, giving up 23.4 points a game. They don't have a bad defense, but they are on the field the entire game. Can they get Neighbors the ball? He's a legit wide receiver number 1, but he needs consistent play from the quarterback position. Falcons, one of the best offensive rosters in the NFL, but Kirk Cousins, just awful play so far this season, as many interceptions as touchdowns. They're averaging 20.9, throwing for 239, running for 124, giving up 24.4 points a game. Robinson, Algiers, London, Moody, Pitts, weapons up and down the field, every single position. It's just the quarterback position that's been the weakness. No matter how Penix plays, I think they pull off the win here, 24-14. And then at 1 p.m. on Fox, the 7-7 Arizona Cardinals versus the 3-11 Carolina Panthers. The Cardinals flip-flop team, they have a good week and they have a bad week. The Panthers, since Bryce Young has come back at the quarterback position, he has been playing a lot better. The offense has actually been getting some first downs. Right now, Arizona's 74.6% chance to win this game. They are 5-point favorites. Over in here is 47.5. The Cardinals, they're averaging 22.4, throwing for 210, running for 142. Actually a pretty balanced offense, and they're giving up 21.9 points a game. Much improved pass rush over last season. Connor, McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., they have the weapons when they're fully healthy. And for the Panthers, they're averaging 17.6. They're actually getting that number up, throwing for 186, running for 103, giving up 29.9 points a game. This is the worst statistical defense in the NFL, but they used to give up 34.4. They are playing better because the offense is giving the defense some breather time because they're getting first downs. They have one of the better running backs in the NFL. You know he's going to run. He's still getting his yardage. They could potentially get the upset here. But the Arizona, they have too much offense. I have them getting back in the win column here, winning this one 28-21 and keeping their playoff hopes alive. And then on Fox at 1 p.m., the 12-2 Detroit Lions, the best team in the NFL so far. Yes, they're coming off of a loss. Yes, they've lost a lot of pieces, but still, they have the number one overall offense. They'll be playing the 4-10 Chicago Bears. Since they lost the Hail Mary game, they have not been able to rebound. Right now, the Lions, 71.9% chance to win this game. Last time they played, very close game. The Bears showed that they can win this one. They can get the upset. Lions, 6.5-point favorites, 71.9% chance to win this game, 47.5 over-under. Goff picked up right where he left off last season, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks, 3,800 yards. They're averaging 32.8. That's number one in the NFL. Throwing for 260, running for 144, giving up 20.1 points a game. The number one offense. Top 10 defense. They did lose Montgomery for the season, but still, Gibbs, St. Brown, lots of weapons, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. They can spread the ball out no matter what, and their defense is really good. Chicago, can that offensive line hold up? Right now, Swift, Moore, Odunze, Allen, they have some weapons there. They average 19 a game. They give up 22 per game. They have a really good defense. They're going to be at home. They can get the upset here. But to me, the Lions, even injured, still have too much firepower. The Lions win this one 27-18. Get back on track in the win column. And then at 1 p.m. on Fox, the 12-2 Philadelphia Eagles, one of those other teams no one's wanting to play right now. Great offense, great defense, number one team running the ball. They'll be playing the 9-5 Washington Commanders, who actually have an offense that can match Philadelphia and potentially get that upset. Right now, the Eagles, 58.8% chance to win this game, 3.5-point favorites. Over in here is 45.5. Hurts having a great season. The reason the Eagles are being successful, they're playing defense, they're running the ball, they're keeping the turnovers down. They're averaging 26.4, throwing for 187, running for 186.2. That's as balanced as it gets. Number one rushing team, giving up 17.6 points a game. That's a top 5 defense. Washington, they're right there with them on offense. They average 28.3. They throw for 218. They run for 156, giving up 22.5 points a game. They don't have as good of a defense, but they have the offense to where this game could potentially come down to final possession. Who has the ball last could win this game. You have MVP hopeful Saquon Barkley, just 12 yards shy of 1,700. He might get 2,000 yards this season. A.J. Brown, Smith, Hurts. The run game is what's going to matter in the trenches here for 4 quarters. I have the Eagles winning this one 28-23. And then on CBS at 1 p.m., the 3-11 Cleveland Browns, who are actually much better than their record, but they have not been able to get things right on offense. Not being able to get first downs leaves that defense on the field too long. They're playing the 6-8 Cincinnati Bengals, who basically have to win out every single game to have any shot to make the playoffs whatsoever. They have to win this game. They have a really good offense, a top 5 offense, but their defense is atrocious. Right now, the Bengals, 62% chance to win this game. They are 7.5-point favorites. Over here is 46.5. How are the Browns going to do at the quarterback position? They're averaging 17.1, throwing for 218, only running for 92 yards a game, giving up 25.4 points a game. Too many turnovers on the offensive side. And for Cincinnati, Burrow having a career season, 4,000 yards, 36 touchdowns, 8 picks, leading the NFL in both categories. They average 28.5, top 5 offense. They're throwing for 271. They're running for 91, but they're giving up 27.6 points a game. They give up as many points as they score. Thankfully for them, the Browns don't have the offense to be able to get into a shootout with the Bengals. They have Brown, Chase, Higgins, too many weapons, and they need this game. Look for Joe Burrow to do what he needs to do to get the win. They win it 30-21. And then on CBS at 1 p.m., the 3-11 Tennessee Titans, they're just shuffling quarterbacks too much. Too many turnovers on their own side of the field. They'll be playing the 6-8 Indianapolis Colts. They bench Flacco. Richardson's been starting. Richardson, not an accurate passer by any means, but he can do things with his legs. Right now, the Colts, they're the favorites, 3.5-point favorites. Over in here is 42.5. Tennessee, They're averaging 18.1. They've been shuffling Rudolph, Levis. No matter who plays, they're struggling to get first downs. They're throwing for 191, running for 110, giving up 27.1 points a game. They don't give up very many yards. Their offense turns the ball over too much on their own side of the field, which always puts the defense in really bad positions. For the Colts, they average 20 a game. They throw for 190. They run for 121. They're giving up 23.5. Jonathan Taylor, you got to hold on to the ball. They have Pierce. Pierce has been banged up, but you have Jonathan Taylor. He can catch it. He can run it. On the other side, Pollard, Ridley, having great seasons, but the Colts, they're due to get a win. I have them beating Tennessee 20-17, but Tennessee's been really competitive in these one-possession games, so you got to watch out. And then on CBS at 1 p.m., the 8-6 LA Rams. Don't judge them by their record. When they have a fully healthy offensive roster, one of the best rosters in the NFL on the offense, they can get into a shootout with anyone playing. The 4-10 New York Jets, they finally got that fourth win. A lot of one-possession losses. Rodgers is not having a bad season. He gets a lot of hate, but he statistically not having a bad season right now. The Rams, 3-point favorites over here is 46.5. They're averaging 22.1, throwing for 232, running for 106, giving up 24.1. Their defense leaves a lot to be desired, but the offense can control this game. Williams, Atwell, Cooper, Nakua, lots of weapons for Stafford and for the Jets. They're averaging 20.2, throwing for 217, running for 89.7. They got to get the rush yards up. They got to open up the play action, and they're giving up 23.2. Big game out of Adams, Wilson, Lazard. The Jets can pull the upset here. They're more than capable of it. They have the experienced veteran quarterback, but so do the Rams. I have the Rams winning this one 24-20. And then at 4:05 p.m. on Fox, the 12-2 Minnesota Vikings. One of those other teams no one wants anything to do with this season, playing great offense, playing great defense. They're playing the 8-6 Seattle Seahawks. They're back to playing really good football right now. A lot of pressure on Geno Smith. How he plays the game goes. He's 50-50 turnovers, picks. He has to play a clean game here. If you give the Vikings possessions, they will make you pay. Right now, the Vikings 3-point favorites over in here is 42.5. They're averaging 26.4, throwing for 237, running for 113, only giving up 18 points a game, only giving up 89 rush yards per game. Seattle doesn't run the ball very well. If you shut down what they can get on the ground, it's going to put Geno Smith in those third and long situations. Third and long means potential picks. Right now, they also have Jones Sr. They have Justin Jefferson. He might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. And for Seattle, they're averaging 22.5, throwing for 240, running for 94.3, giving up 22.4. They might have Walker back this game. They have Smith, DK Metcalf. They've been very banged up on the offense. When they're fully healthy, they have the wide receiver core there. They can get the upset here, but Minnesota, their defense is what makes the difference at the line of scrimmage. They win this one 28-21. The next game on CBS at 4:25 p.m., the 3-11 New England Patriots here versus the 11-3 Buffalo Bills. Even with 3 losses, who wants to play the Bills right now? The number 2 offense just barely. Right now, they're going to be 14-point favorites, 82.5% chance to win this game. The over-under is 46.5. Heavy favorites here. Massive spread for an NFL game. Right now, the Patriots are averaging 17 points a game. Drake May needs more weapons on the offensive side, running back, wide receiver, tight end. They're throwing for 173, running for 119, giving up 24.1 points a game. But Josh Allen might be the MVP frontrunner. They're averaging 31.8 points a game. That's number 2, just barely behind the Lions. He's closing on 3,400 yards, 25 passing touchdowns, 5 picks. He also has 12 rushing touchdowns. They're throwing for 239. They're running for 131. They're giving up 22.1 points a game. They have Cook, Shakir, Coleman, Cooper. They are hot right now. I would not want to play them. Very physical team, and Josh Allen is doing amazing things, not forcing things, taking what the defense gives him, and then taking a little more. Right now, Buffalo cruises. They roll through this game 33-17. And then at 4:25 p.m. on CBS, the 3-11 Jacksonville Jaguars. Can they get to 4 wins versus the 2-12 Las Vegas Raiders? I think the Raiders have lost like 8 or 9 straight games, completely fallen off the rails, but they are a 1.5-point favorite here. The over-under here is 40.5. Jacksonville, they're not going to have Trevor Lawrence, but Mac Jones, he has a lot of starts under his belt. Yes, they're not good starts, but he's still an experienced veteran backup. They're averaging 18.8, throwing for 204, running for 102, giving up 26.9 points a game, getting torched in the secondary, giving up 265 passing yards, 132 rushing yards, and they got to shore the defense up, but it's going to start with the offense, getting some first downs, buying some time. Las Vegas, really doesn't matter who they put out at quarterback. They're not going to score. They're only averaging 17.5, throwing for 221, running for 78.1. Very bad rush offense, giving up 26.9 points a game. And they have an awful offense. They have an awful defense. I feel bad for Brock Bowers. He's a legit weapon number 1, but he needs a quarterback who's going to consistently feed him the ball, let him make plays. He's still going to get his. The Raiders could get the win here. I would not be surprised, but I actually have Jacksonville getting the 4th win. I wouldn't want it because I'd want the higher draft pick, but the Jags get the upset win here, 23-20, but this game is practically a pick. I'm 50-50. And then on CBS at 4:25 p.m., the 6-8 San Francisco 49ers, they went from almost winning the Super Bowl to being 2 games under 500 by Week 16, playing the 6-8 Miami Dolphins just to have a shot to make the playoffs. Both of these teams have to win out. It's not optional. Right now, the 49ers, 54.4% chance to win this game. Miami, barely 1-point favorite here. That's been going back and forth. The over and here is 48.5. San Francisco, they're averaging 22.4, throwing for 232, running for 134, giving up 22.9 points a game. When they're fully healthy, they might have the best top-to-bottom roster in the NFL, but that's the main statement. When they are fully healthy, they have yet to be fully healthy this season. Injuries at every single position. Running back, wide receiver, tight end, banged up and down the field, and that's a real shame. Right now, Miami, since they've had Tua back, they are moving the ball a lot better. They have a top 5 rush defense, but they need better play from Tua's second half when it matters. Some sloppy decisions this past weekend. They're averaging 19.7, throwing for 223, running for 101.4, giving up 22.3 points a game. Hill, Waddle, you got to get them going. You got to get the run game going. Hill needs more touches. Get the guy the ball in space. I have Miami pulling off the win here, 24-18. I'm not very confident. This game could honestly go either way, but I think Miami wins at home. It's not under 30, so they actually have a chance to win this game. And then our final Sunday game, second to last game on NBC. At 8:20 p.m., the 8-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they lose Chris Godwin. They get Mike Evans back. This offense has been flourishing nonetheless, even with the injuries. Baker Mayfield having a great season so far, pretty much almost second in a lot of the passing categories. They'll be playing the 6-8 Dallas Cowboys. Since they locked Dak, they've actually been playing a lot better on offense. They've actually gotten the run game going. But right now, Tampa Bay, 70% chance to win this game. 4-point favorites over here is 48.5. Baker Mayfield, 32 passing touchdowns. They're averaging 28.8 points a game. That's a top 7 offense. Throwing for 244, running for 144.4, very balanced, giving up 23.1 points a game. They leave a lot to be desired on defense, but the offense can get into a shootout with anyone, and thankfully for them, Dallas's defense is awful. They're averaging 21.3, throwing for 229, running for 99.8. It used to be in the 70s. Dowdle's actually gotten the ball going on the ground probably for the last month, but they are giving up 27.1 points a game. The defense is going to give up touches. They have a shot here to upset Tampa Bay. Would not be surprised, but I think Tampa Bay dominates this game on the ground and through the air. They win it 27-18. And our final game for our quick picks in Week 16 is going to be the Monday night game at 8:15 p.m. on ESPN. The 5-9 New Orleans Saints. What's going to be going on with Carr? This team's very banged up. Much better than their 5-9 record, but they have not gotten things going consistently the entire season. Versus the 10-4 Green Bay Packers. They can throw, they can run, they play offense, they play defense. They have an 83.5% chance to win this game. 14.5-point favorites. Massive spread. Over in here, 42.5. The Saints are averaging 22.1. Throwing for 210, running for 124, giving up 22.3. Very Alvin Kamara-centric. They need to get the offense geared around someone else. If you shut down Kamara, they basically can't get first downs. And for Green Bay, they're averaging 27.1. Love having a great season. Just keep the turnovers down this game. They're throwing for 231, running for 144, only giving up 20.5 points a game. Very balanced team. They can run, they can throw, they can score, they play defense. They're at home here. It's going to be really cold. I have Green Bay winning at home, dominating this game in the trenches. They win it 24-14. So that's our quick picks, all of our quick picks for our Week 16 games. I try to get through them as quickly as possible, try to save you guys some time. I do have a longer in-depth video, came out 2 days ago, but please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments about these games or anything else, drop them below, and I will respond. Thank you.